The danger of losing faith. Faith is not just a belief, it is the foundation upon which everything in our lives stands. Without it, we are like a house built on sand, vulnerable to the winds and waves of life, easily swept away by the smallest storm. Faith is what gives us direction, and it is what allows us to move forward even when we cannot see the full path ahead. When we lose faith, we lose more than just hope, we lose our vision. Faith shapes how we see the world, how we perceive our struggles, and how we anticipate our future. It empowers us to see beyond the present, to envision possibilities where others see limitations. But when faith is absent, everything becomes clouded. Our dreams shrink, and our ability to persevere diminishes. The greatest danger in losing faith is not merely the absence of belief, but what fills the void left behind. Fear, doubt, and confusion will rush in. And when these take root, they begin to erode not only our sense of purpose, but also our sense of identity. You begin to question who you are, what you are capable of, and whether there is any reason to continue pressing forward. But you see, faith is not just about believing in a higher power. It's about believing in the purpose within you. It's about knowing that no matter how dark the night may be, morning is on the horizon. Faith sustains hope. It is the fuel that keeps our spirits alive when everything around us suggests we should give up. When we lose it, we begin to live in survival mode rather than thriving in purpose. Resilience is the product of faith. With faith, we can stand tall in the face of adversity. But when faith wavers, our resilience crumbles, and we start to feel overwhelmed by even the smallest challenges. That's why faith is not optional, it is essential for navigating life's storms. Losing faith comes with severe consequences. Anxiety, fear, and despair begin to take over. We start to make decisions from a place of fear rather than wisdom. And this leads us down paths we were never meant to walk. It is a slow but dangerous unraveling of the very fabric of our lives. But even if you've lost faith, there's good news, it can be restored. Faith is not gone forever. Sometimes it's buried under layers of disappointment, unmet expectations, or hardship. But if we are willing to seek it out, to look back and identify where we let it slip away, we can rebuild it. Faith is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows with use. Finally, remember this, faith is a daily decision. It's not a one-time act. Every day you choose to believe. Every day you decide to trust in a purpose greater than the challenges before you. When you make that decision, faith will empower you to overcome the impossible, to stand firm when others fall, and to see a way forward where others only see a dead end. So hold on to your faith. Guard it closely, because in it lies the strength to become all you were created to be. Faith as the foundation. Without faith, life lacks direction and purpose. Faith is not just an abstract concept, nor is it merely a religious sentiment. It is the very core of our existence, shaping our worldview, influencing our decisions, and guiding us through life's challenges. Without faith, we lack the foundational compass that gives our lives direction and purpose. Whether we are aware of it or not, faith underpins our actions, aspirations, and resilience. When we talk about faith, we often reduce it to something we simply believe in or hope for, but it is so much more. Faith is the substance that fuels our drive, the invisible force that pushes us to pursue our goals, even when the odds are stacked against us. It is faith that allows a parent to raise a child with the belief that they will grow into a person of character and impact. It is faith that empowers an entrepreneur to start a business, trusting that their vision will materialize despite the obstacles they will inevitably face. Faith gives us the assurance that even though we may not see the end from the beginning, the journey is worth the effort and the outcome is worth the struggle. Without faith, life becomes aimless. When we lose faith, we lose sight of our purpose. We become like a ship adrift at sea without a destination, merely responding to the winds and waves of life. We may still go through the motions, but deep inside, there is a void, a lack of direction, a sense of aimlessness. Life without faith feels empty because faith is the foundation upon which all meaningful actions and relationships are built. Faith shapes how we view the world around us. It is like a lens through which we perceive both our circumstances and our possibilities. When we have faith, we see beyond the immediate challenges and setbacks. Instead of focusing on the obstacles before us, we are able to envision the possibilities that lie beyond them. Faith enables us to look at a situation that seems bleak and say, there is still hope. It empowers us to see opportunities where others only see limitations. This is why faith is so crucial. It expands our vision. It doesn't deny the reality of difficulty, but it helps us to see through it to the potential on the other side. Consider how faith works in the life of an athlete. Before they ever win a race, they must first believe that victory is possible. It is faith that drives them to train for countless hours, often alone, when no one is watching. It is faith that helps them endure setbacks, injuries, and moments of doubt. They must have faith in their ability, faith in their preparation, and faith that all their effort will one day lead to success. Without that faith, why would they even begin? Why would they continue when the road gets tough? Faith propels them forward beyond the present difficulties toward the goal they can see in their mind's eye, even if it hasn't yet manifested in reality. In the same way, faith plays a critical role in our personal growth and development. Each one of us has a purpose, a potential that we are meant to fulfill, but realizing that potential requires faith. It requires us to believe that we are capable of more than what we see in the mirror today. Faith gives us the courage to step out of our comfort zones, to take risks, and to pursue dreams that seem out of reach. Without faith, we are held back by fear, doubt, and insecurity. We settle for less because we can't see what's possible. But when faith takes root, it pushes us to rise above our circumstances and to strive for something greater. However, faith is not blind optimism. It is not about ignoring the harsh realities of life or pretending that difficulties don't exist. On the contrary, faith acknowledges the challenges but refuses to be defined or limited by them. It looks at a seemingly impossible situation and says, this too shall pass. Faith gives us the strength to endure the storms of life, knowing that the storm will not last forever. It enables us to persevere when others would give up, to keep moving forward even when the path ahead is unclear. Losing faith, therefore, is a dangerous thing. When we lose faith, we lose more than just hope for the future. We lose our vision for what is possible. We begin to see only the obstacles, the difficulties, and the reasons why something can't be done. We start to live cautiously, afraid to take risks, afraid to fail. And in doing so, we miss out on the very things that could transform our lives. Faith, then, is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation of a life well lived, the key to unlocking our potential, and the force that drives us toward our purpose. Without it, we are lost, but with it, we can overcome any challenge and achieve what we were created to do. Faith shapes vision. It allows us to see beyond the present challenges. Faith has a profound impact on the way we view the world, shaping not only our perception of present circumstances, but also our vision for the future. It allows us to see beyond the immediate challenges, difficulties, and obstacles that life inevitably presents. Without faith, we often become trapped in the limitations of the present moment, focusing on the problems before us rather than the possibilities ahead. Faith gives us the ability to look past the current situation, to envision a better tomorrow, and to act in ways that move us closer to that vision. When we are confronted with challenges, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. Life has a way of presenting us with circumstances that can seem insurmountable, whether they be personal struggles, professional setbacks, or unforeseen crises. In these moments, without faith, we can quickly become consumed by the weight of the problem. Our thoughts become dominated by doubt and fear, and our ability to think creatively, to imagine solutions, or to remain hopeful becomes severely diminished. But faith changes this. It shifts our focus from the present difficulties to the possibilities that lie beyond them. Faith enables us to see past what is happening now and to focus on what could happen in the future. It helps us to recognize that no situation, no matter how dire, is permanent. Challenges, no matter how overwhelming they may seem, are temporary. With faith, we begin to understand that these difficulties are not roadblocks but stepping stones. not the end, but merely part of the journey. Faith broadens our perspective, allowing us to view our struggles through a different lens. Instead of seeing them as things that will defeat us, we see them as opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. This ability to see beyond the present is one of the most powerful aspects of faith. It allows us to hold on to hope even in the darkest of times. When everything around us seems to be falling apart, faith provides a vision of a future where things can and will be better. This vision is not rooted in denial or avoidance of reality, but in the conviction that change is possible, that circumstances can improve, and that we have the strength to endure the present challenges in order to reach a better future. Consider someone who has lost their job unexpectedly. Without faith, this loss might feel like a devastating blow, something that completely derails their sense of purpose and direction. The immediate reaction could be panic, fear of financial instability, or doubt in their own abilities. But with faith, this same situation can be viewed differently. Instead of seeing it as an end, they can see it as an opportunity, a chance to pursue a new career path, to learn new skills, or to start something they are truly passionate about. Faith allows them to envision a future where this setback becomes the turning point for something greater. This shift in perspective is essential because it empowers us to take action. When we are able to see beyond our present challenges, we are more likely to make decisions that move us toward that better future. We begin to operate from a place of possibility rather than fear. Our thoughts and actions are no longer dictated by the constraints of our current situation, but by the vision that faith has given us for what is yet to come. This is why faith is so crucial. It doesn't just give us hope, it also propels us forward. In the same way, faith shapes how we approach relationships, work, and personal development. When we have faith in a positive future, we are more likely to invest in things that contribute to that vision. We become more patient with others, understanding that growth and change take time. We become more resilient in our work, knowing that success is not always immediate, but is built over time. And we are more forgiving of ourselves, recognizing that setbacks and failures are not final, but are simply part of the journey toward realizing our potential. Faith also shapes the way we view ourselves. In times of difficulty, it is easy to question our own worth, our abilities, or our place in the world. Doubt can creep in, and we may start to believe that we are not capable of overcoming our challenges. But faith gives us a different vision of ourselves. It reminds us that we are not defined by our current circumstances or our past mistakes. It allows us to see ourselves as we are meant to be, full of potential, capable of growth, and worthy of success. Ultimately, faith shapes our vision in ways that allow us to rise above the challenges of the present and to pursue the possibilities of the future. It doesn't remove the difficulties, but it changes the way we perceive them. Instead of being held back by fear or doubt, we are able to move forward with confidence, knowing that there is more ahead than what we can see right now. Faith enables us to dream bigger, to hope for more, and to work toward a future that reflects our highest aspirations. Losing faith is not something that happens overnight. It is a gradual process, much like the erosion of a solid rock by the slow, steady force of water. Over time, small cracks form, and if left unattended, they deepen, eventually causing the rock to crumble. In the same way, when faith begins to erode, it opens us up to vulnerabilities we may not even recognize until they start to overwhelm us. One of the most immediate consequences of losing faith is the onset of fear, doubt, and despair, emotions that can take root and undermine our sense of security and purpose. Fear is often the first thing to emerge when faith weakens. Faith provides a sense of assurance, a belief that no matter how uncertain or difficult things may be, there is a higher purpose guiding us through. It allows us to face challenges with courage, knowing that the present struggles are temporary and that we have the strength to overcome them. But when faith begins to erode, fear creeps in. Without the stabilizing influence of faith, we start to feel uncertain about the future. We lose the confidence that things will get better, and as a result, we become paralyzed by fear. Every decision becomes fraught with anxiety because we are no longer operating from a place of trust or belief in a positive outcome. Doubt is another significant consequence of losing faith. When we no longer have faith, whether in ourselves, in others, or in something greater, we begin to question everything. Doubt starts small, perhaps just a nagging thought at the back of our mind, but if we do not address it, it grows. We begin to doubt our own abilities, questioning whether we are capable of achieving the goals we once believed in. We may start to doubt the people around us, wondering if they are truly supportive or if they will let us down. We might even doubt the very purpose of our lives, feeling lost and uncertain about the path we are on. Doubt erodes our sense of direction, making it harder to make decisions or move forward with confidence. Instead of trusting ourselves and our instincts, we second-guess every choice, trapped in a cycle of uncertainty. Despair is perhaps the most destructive outcome of losing faith. When faith erodes completely, it leaves us feeling hopeless. We begin to believe that nothing we do will make a difference, that our efforts are in vain, and that there is no point in trying anymore. Despair robs us of our motivation and our ability to see beyond our present circumstances. When we are caught in the grip of despair, even small obstacles can feel insurmountable. We may begin to withdraw from the world, isolating ourselves because we no longer believe that anything can change for the better. Despair is the ultimate surrender to defeat, and it can lead to a deep sense of resignation where we no longer even attempt to pursue our dreams or aspirations. The erosion of faith also affects how we relate to others. When we lose faith, it becomes harder to trust those around us. We may start to view relationships with suspicion, assuming that others will inevitably let us down. This creates a barrier between us and the people who could offer support, love, or guidance during difficult times. Without faith, we may push others away, isolating ourselves in our struggle, which only deepens the sense of fear, doubt, and despair. We become trapped in a negative cycle where our lack of faith in ourselves and others feeds the very emotions that make it harder to rebuild that faith. Losing faith can also impact our sense of identity. Faith in many ways gives us a sense of who we are and what we are capable of. It provides us with a foundation from which we can pursue our goals, live out our values, and contribute to the world around us. But when faith erodes, that foundation starts to crumble. We may no longer feel grounded in our beliefs or confident in our abilities. This can lead to a kind of end of existential crisis where we begin to question not only our direction in life, but also our worth and our purpose. The loss of faith leaves us feeling unmoored, adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The danger of this erosion is that it is often subtle. It doesn't always happen in a dramatic or sudden way. Instead, it can be a slow process where we experience small disappointments, setbacks, or challenges that chip away at our faith bit by bit. If we are not mindful, these small cracks can go unnoticed until they widen into chasms that feel impossible to bridge. By the time we realize the extent of the erosion, fear, doubt, and despair have taken root so deeply that it feels as though they are a permanent part of our lives. Faith sustains hope. It keeps hope alive, even when circumstances seem bleak. Faith and hope are deeply interconnected, with faith serving as the lifeline that sustains hope even in the darkest moments of life. When circumstances seem overwhelming and the future uncertain, it is faith that keeps hope alive. Faith gives us something to hold on to when everything else feels unstable, offering the assurance that there is a purpose to our struggles and that a brighter future is still possible. It is the quiet confidence that even though we may not see the way out, there is one, and that better days are ahead. Hope is fragile on its own. It often relies on external conditions, on things going well, or at least on the possibility of improvement. But when the external world presents challenges, when setbacks occur, or when life takes an unexpected turn for the worse, hope can begin to falter. It can be difficult to remain hopeful when faced with repeated disappointments or seemingly insurmountable obstacles. In these moments, faith steps in. Faith provides the foundation upon which hope can stand, allowing it to endure even when circumstances offer no clear reason for optimism. Faith reminds us that life is not limited to what we can see or control. It gives us the ability to trust in something beyond our current reality, to believe in the unseen and the yet to be. When we have faith, we understand that our present circumstances are not the full picture. There is more happening than meets the eye, and the story is not over. This perspective is crucial because it prevents us from becoming consumed by the difficulties of the moment. Faith widens our lens, helping us to see beyond the present and into a future where things can and will change. It provides the spiritual stamina we need to continue hoping, even when the logical mind tells us there's no reason to. Faith also keeps hope alive by shifting our focus from what is wrong to what is possible. When we lose hope, it is often because we are fixated on the problems in front of us, the setbacks, the disappointments, and the failures. But faith reorients our vision. Instead of dwelling on what's broken, faith encourages us to look toward what could be. It fills our minds with the belief that solutions exist, that opportunities will arise, and that we have the strength to navigate through whatever we are facing. This shift in perspective is critical, as it empowers us to remain hopeful, not because everything is perfect, but because we trust that change is possible. Faith also helps us to reinterpret our struggles. When we lack faith, difficulties feel random and meaningless, as if life is punishing us or the universe is against us. But faith frames our challenges differently. It allows us to see them as opportunities for growth, as moments that may be shaping us into stronger, more resilient individuals. This perspective doesn't erase the pain or difficulty, but it gives it meaning. When we believe that our struggles are part of a greater purpose, hope remains alive because we trust that something good will come from our pain. Faith transforms obstacles into stepping stones, and this transformation is what allows hope to thrive, even in adversity. Faith also connects us to others in meaningful ways. When our hope is failing, the faith of others can bolster our own. Whether it's through encouragement, support, or simply being reminded that we are not alone, faith creates a sense of community that sustains hope. It allows us to lean on the strength of others when our own faith is wavering, and this shared faith can reignite hope even in the bleakest of times. In essence, faith acts as a stabilizer, anchoring hope when everything else feels uncertain. While circumstances may be unpredictable and uncontrollable, faith remains constant, allowing hope to persist. It is faith that tells us the story is not over, that there is more to come, and that no matter how bleak things appear, there is always the possibility of redemption, restoration, and renewal. Faith sustains hope by giving it a foundation to stand on, even when everything else seems to be crumbling. Faith fuels resilience. When faith falters, our ability to endure trials diminishes. Faith is a powerful force that fuels resilience, giving us the strength to endure life's inevitable trials. It acts as the inner fortitude that keeps us going when the road ahead seems long and the obstacles insurmountable. When faith is strong, it anchors us, providing a sense of purpose and direction that makes even the hardest challenges feel surmountable. It is what allows us to keep pressing forward despite setbacks, disappointments, and difficulties. However, when faith falters, our ability to endure these trials diminishes, leaving us vulnerable to exhaustion, defeat, and despair. At its core, resilience is about bouncing back from adversity, and faith is what gives resilience its fuel. Faith provides the belief that no matter how difficult things may be, we have the capacity to survive and even thrive through adversity. It assures us that our struggles are not in vain, that there is meaning in our trials, and that perseverance will ultimately lead to victory. This belief strengthens our resolve, enabling us to keep going when others might give up. Faith doesn't remove the pain of the struggle, but it gives us the hope and determination needed to face it head on. When faith falters, however, we lose the very foundation that resilience depends on. Without faith, challenges can feel overwhelming, as though there is no way out. We begin to question whether our efforts are worth it, whether things will ever improve, or whether we have the strength to continue. This lack of belief saps our energy and motivation, making it harder to endure. Resilience once driven by faith, starts to weaken, and we may find ourselves giving in to feelings of hopelessness or despair. Faith also plays a crucial role in shaping how we perceive trials. When we have faith, we view hardships as temporary and as opportunities for growth. This perspective fuels resilience because it gives us a sense of control and purpose, even in difficult times. We understand that while we may not be able to avoid pain or challenges, we can endure them with the belief that they are refining us and preparing us for something greater. This faith-based mindset transforms adversity from something to be feared into something that can be overcome. Consequences of losing faith: it opens the door to confusion, anxiety, and defeat. Losing faith has profound consequences as it dismantles the foundation that provides clarity, peace, and strength in the face of adversity. Faith acts as a guiding force, offering direction, purpose, and confidence even when life is uncertain. When that faith begins to waver or disappear, it opens the door to confusion, anxiety, and ultimately defeat. Anxiety is another inevitable consequence of losing faith. Faith provides assurance, a sense of security that no matter how challenging things may seem, there is something greater at work and that we will ultimately be okay. This assurance is crucial for maintaining inner peace during difficult times. When faith falters, that peace is replaced with anxiety. Without the belief that things will work out, we become consumed by worry. Every decision feels heavier, every problem more insurmountable, and every unknown more terrifying. Anxiety creeps into our thoughts, paralyzing us with fear about the future. The mind becomes preoccupied with worst-case scenarios, and the weight of uncertainty becomes overwhelming. In the absence of faith, even small challenges can spark intense anxiety as we no longer have the inner assurance that we can navigate through them. Finally, losing faith opens the door to defeat. Faith fuels resilience, the ability to keep going despite setbacks and challenges. It gives us the strength to endure because we believe in something greater than the present moment. When faith is strong, even in the face of adversity, we feel a sense of hope and determination that allows us to continue fighting. But without faith, this resilience erodes. We no longer believe in the possibility of overcoming our struggles, and as a result, we are more likely to give in to them. Defeat becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitable outcome, as the absence of faith drains our energy, motivation, and willpower.